Hey everyone, CJF Hotshot here. I hope you've all had a fantastic holiday season. It's time to attempt to settle a debate again. And that is on the Flash costume design, because Twitter keeps trying to argue the piss when the current designs like that they're using in 2023 are perfect. And I will tell you why. But with pure symbolism, what these costumes actually represent to Wally West, and I'll briefly touch on Barry at the end. But Wally has more costumes, so I feel like we have to focus on Wally more. So we'll start with the Kid Flash suit, but it kind of like represents childhood and like a Wally West that you wouldn't want to remember, because like Wally's character doesn't really start until he becomes the Flash. But it's from a time when Wally wasn't 100% himself. Like, even Wally in Flash Time of Velocity said that Wally didn't really fully become a man until he became the Flash, and not really until he met Linda. So, Wally as Kid Flash was very incomplete as a character. This, of course, has a lot to do with him being a Bronze Age character as well at that time. When he was wearing Barry's suit back in the post-crisis Flash, between issue 1 and 50. Wally was very insecure in himself, and whilst he was trying to fill in Barry's shoes, he ultimately found them a weird fit, which is why he had to make his own shoes. Wally's 90s suit, in matter of sense, is what sets him apart. It's what makes him accept his role as the Flash. The 90s suit being the one with the white lenses. That is the suit that Wally finds his identity in. It is quite literally his own shoes, the ones that he makes. Superman meeting Wally in this suit literally said, "Nice new threads. Like, I dig it. They really suit you." This is where Wally accepts his role as the Flash, and where he's recognized as the Flash by the rest of the community, especially Jay Garrick, the original Flash, who Wally did need the blessing of, if not just purely for himself at that point. Just say, if the original Flash says I can be the Flash, then I can be the Flash. Wally's 2000 suit is like the quote-unquote like de facto Flash suit, the default Flash suit, to where it's opened eyes, but it's also Wally's belt, and it's like a lighter red. And whilst you could say it was Wally attempting to go more classic and trying to bring the best of both worlds together, it automatically kind of took in a lot of baggage once we got to the Johns era, since it also represented a miscarriage for Linda, as well as winding time back a lot. Bart's 10 years of Flash was also in the suit, so there's baggage from that. And then there's just hecticness of like when Barry came back, so Wally had to change his suit into the Blackest Night suit, which I'll get to in a bit, because that suit didn't mean too much other than like a variant to like Wally's 90s suit. That didn't mean anything until this current run, but it means a lot now. But the Rebirth 2016 suit, Rebirth 2016 is a regression. Right, it's a regression for Wally's character. Again, it's incomplete. It's what Wally is without Linda, without his kids, and without his family at his side, and without his faith in himself. So much so that it also represents probably the worst time for his character. A book that we don't talk about, and immense self-doubt in himself, to where that he had to so far distance himself from reality to even get anything done, to where he was willing to sacrifice his emotions and everything that made him a man, just so that he didn't have to feel the pain of being incomplete anymore. Wally's Blackest Night suit, Wally's 90s suit came back, and it kind of like, again, it renewed his faith and acceptance of his role as the Flash. But then the Blackest Night suit comes in, and Blackest Night suit, even though it came in Blackest Night, it also represents Wally now and in Blackest Night as a family man, and his faith in self really being tested and always pulling through at the end, where he's a mentor to Ace West. He has a Zen-like wisdom which comes through 8 years of experience, but also just a love for life, a love for anything is thrown at him, just in general. The Blackest Night suit, aka the suit he's wearing right now, is kind of what represents a complete, full-on Wally West in the modern day and age. And I love it. Like, people could say, oh, it's the nose guard. Just like, I can get past the nose guard. But it's just like, if people say that they want the Rebirth 2016 suit back, they kind of miss the point of what it means for Wally's characterization. Because, like, whether they like it or not, symbols have meanings, and costumes are symbols. Like, we even see this in, like, Superman in Action Comics by Dan Jurgens in 2016, where the black suit that Superman was wearing represented Superman working in the shadows, whereas when he brings a blue back, it's because Superman is being renewed and brought back to life, even if he didn't wear the trunks, but it's because it was kind of like brand new and renewed and he needed to set himself apart. You know? Like, these costumes have meanings, whether people like it or not. It's why John Kent's Superman changed costume. It's why Batman changes his costume throughout the eras. It's why Nightwing has different costumes for different phases of his life. And that's why we have to get to Barry now, because Barry somehow hasn't followed this rule much. Because even though every JLA character, every character and member of the Justice League has swapped their suits since the New 52, Barry just didn't for a long time. And I think it kind of represents Barry being the only one who's not willing to let the New 52 era go. He's not willing to let go of being the only Flash, which he was during the New 52. And also, like, the mythos, like, very much reflected it. To where that now that Barry's back in his classic suit, it shows that Barry has been reintegrated into the DC universe finally, and within his family. Which is really weird, because, like, we always thought it was the other way around, where it was the New 52 timeline, so Wally didn't have to fit in. But now that it's kind of gone back to everything all the time, like it was in Post-Crisis, Wally's the one that fits in, whereas Barry's an outsider. It's the reason why Barry was traveling the multiverse, because he was representing the New 52 ideals and everything. But now that he's fully back, and with Iris, and, like, potentially getting married, assuming that Iris doesn't die during 1 Minute War, Barry has been renewed. He's back to his classic self, kind of. Like, we even see this in the Bronze Age Flash Earth, where Barry is wearing his classic suit during it, because it represents him as a happier and a healthier man, where he is allowed to have children, have Iris as his wife, and still be happy. Whereas the New 52 suit kind of, like, represents all the baggage from the New 52, from the fan base. You know, and that's why costume symbolism has a lot of meaning, especially in the Flashes. Like, maybe not Jay Garrick, because he has, like, one suit. It's a really good suit. Like, it really represents Jay as a character with, like, the wings and that. But, like, with, like, Wally and Barry, you feel a sense of urgency whenever they change their costumes, because it feels like a new phase in their lives. Alright, that was this video essay done. Peace out, everyone.